Genesis loves bringing concept cars to the New York Auto Show. Last year, they brought a concept version of the GV80 Coupe, which ultimately previewed the production model coming out later this year. This time around, they've brought a concept car that has an interesting name, but more importantly, a design that previews what we expect to be the upcoming all-electric GV90 SUV. Let's see what we can gather from the Genesis Neolun concept. Right away, you can tell that this thing is big. It's definitely the boxiest of the Genesis SUVs offered so far, but it does have a soft side to it with rounded curves and edges that remind me of a combination of the Mercedes Maybach GLS and the Toyota Century SUV, which is something we don't get here in the US, but wink wink, we might eventually get. Stay tuned for more on that. You might be thinking that the GV90 that's to come will ride on the same platform or same variation of the eGMP platform that the Kia EV9 and the upcoming Hyundai Ioniq 9 ride on, but the reports are saying otherwise. It's more likely that the GV90 that this concept previews will ride on a new, more advanced platform called EM. The rumors also suggest that the upcoming electric Kia Stinger replacement, dubbed the EV8, whatever they decide to call it, will also ride on this EM platform. When we get more concrete details on that, we will cover that here. For now, let's talk about what we know about the Neolun. The name Neolun is an interesting choice. It's a combination of the Greek word for new, which is neo, and the word for moon, which is luna, so they just called it Neolun. Now, Genesis says that this name represents where the concept takes the brand, saying that it, quote, encapsulates Genesis' technological innovation that exceeds conventional standards and sets forth the brand's vision for the future. Do with that information what you will, but the two-line signature lighting that Genesis models are now known for is here, but we also have a more minimalistic grille outline that is seen on a lot of the other concepts that they've been putting out recently. It's not quite as big as the grilles you'll see on production models today. The daylight openings are huge, the wheels are huge, but the whole thing is clearly a caricature of a production model, something with a very real design. The one part of this concept that you would typically write off as a concept car gimmick is the coach doors. However, Genesis says that they have developed a manufacturing process that would allow them to realistically bring these doors to production. So I'm keeping my hopes up because these doors are pretty cool. They don't require any B-pillar. It's very much like a Mercedes-Benz or an old Mercedes-Benz E-Class coupe or the S-Class coupe without the B-pillar in the middle. You might be able to find something like that in a three-row luxury SUV. Now, speaking of three rows, yes, we expect the GV90 to have a third row, but this concept car does not. It actually has two rows where the front row can swivel around to provide a more social seating arrangement, but that probably won't make it to production. There are also various massive screens, all with some level of curvature to them, which also probably won't make it to production, but we do expect a lot of screen real estate as that is the trend these days at Genesis and every other luxury brand for that matter. The one last pretty interesting thing about the concept is the fact that it has a radiant heating system that is inspired by the type of heating system you find in modern Korean homes. It's basically a more efficient way to heat the cabin through the floor, similar to what Toyota and Lexus do with their radiant heating system in the BZ4X and the RZ350E. That could be an interesting innovation if they were to bring it to market where the whole entire interior of the car can be heated through that method, but of course, it's a concept car, so we'll have to wait and see how they bring it to production. So does the Neolun concept make you excited for a future three-row all-electric Genesis SUV? That GV90 has been spy testing wearing various different prototype bodies over the last year, and so thinking about the typical timeline for Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis, we should see a production model sometime either this year or early next year. If you want to see more about that, of course, make sure to subscribe and like this video if you are a fan of concept cars from Genesis. They're always pretty attractive, but I can't wait to see what this brings to the real world. Thanks for watching.